If you are not breaking things, then that means you're not growing. The fact that you're growing means things should be breaking. There should be areas that we need to improve. There should be areas that we need to fix. And if you're not growing at all, the area that you need to improve is everything. Today, we're going to be talking about identifying deficiencies and then the process to fix them. And if you think that you don't have a deficiency, that is your deficiency. Because every business has a deficiency. Apple has deficiencies right now. Amazon has things that they're aggressively trying to fix. And if you don't constantly have something to fix in your business, it's because you are not paying attention to your business. There are always going to be areas of improvement. There are always going to be things that you need to address. There are always going to be things that you need to aggressively attack, because if you don't, it could lead to production becoming stagnant, production lowering, or worst case scenario, you going out of business altogether. If I hopped on a ship and I was 1 degree off, I can end up in the middle of the ocean. And if I do not have the equipment, if I don't have the proper staffing, if I don't have the food, I can end up sailing my entire crew into the middle of nowhere where everyone dies. And in business, it's the exact same thing. You could be 1 degree off. You can have a little deficiency that leads to you being in the middle of nowhere where your business dies. And we don't want that. But once again, if we are not paying attention to it, that's exactly what's going to happen. And so once again, make the commitment that we're going to improve things. And the only way to improve things is what I'm about to go over right now. So number 1, if you want to fix your deficiencies and or improve them, we have to be tracking our metrics and we got to be tracking our KPIs. We got to be paying attention to our numbers, right? We need to inspect what we expect. So if we are not inspecting our numbers and tracking our metrics and paying attention to every last detail, then obviously we are not going to know what to fix. I have a Ford Raptor, and my truck the other day stopped running the way that it was supposed to run. And a buddy of mine, Chris, he has this electronic device that you can plug into the truck, and then all of a sudden it tells you everything that's going wrong. Well, why? Because it's looking for the KPIs. It's paying attention to the metrics of the engine, and then it allows us to identify the pain points within that engine so we can intentionally and aggressively go fix those pain points so I can get my truck back driving smooth. Well, it's the same thing in our business. If we do not have a system and or a process of paying attention to our metrics, our ratios, our KPIs, the details of our business, if we're not obsessively paying attention to those things, then it's going to be very difficult for us to know what to fix. Because you could be fixing something that's running smoothly, and then you create the problem in your business. And so what we have to make sure that we do is put together what key performance indicators are, what these perfect metrics look like, and anything that's below those metrics now alerts us as a red flag so we can aggressively go attack it and fix it. So number 1, we have to track it and attack it. Number 1 is we have to track it and attack it. Number 2, after we track it, now it makes it easy to identify it. So since you're tracking it, number 2, now we can identify where the pain points are. Okay, this is wrong. Okay, this could be running smoothly. Our metric right here is no bueno. This we got to improve significantly. Our ratios are down. This number is down. We're selling too much of this product. We're not selling enough of this product. Our premium is heavy here. Our premium is too light here. And now all of a sudden you can start to identify where the problems are. So that way we can do number 3, which is make adjustments and fix it. And so now all of a sudden, number 1 is we track it. Number 2 is we identify the deficiency. Number 3 is we start making adjustments to improvement. Here's the deal though. This is where most people drop the ball. They make an adjustment and they walk away just thinking that all of a sudden the problem that was quote unquote once a problem is going to be fixed moving forward. And that's not the way that it works. If you want to create dramatic and drastic change in your organization in an area, it's going to require religious and relentless nonstop communication about it. You got to reinforce what you just implemented. So let me explain. Let's just say I make an adjustment. If I walk away thinking that my business is just fixed forever, that is not the case. I need to relentlessly reinforce the adjustment that we just made until it becomes built into the culture and built into the identity of how our people operate. If we're dealing with a computer system, it's a little bit different because now it's just a coding issue. But when you're dealing with people and maybe a system and how they're running it or a sales process or whatever it might be, well, that takes a little bit more reinforcement because now we're having to change the way that people think, and we got to take them from one operating system to a new operating system. If you tell somebody something one time, there's a strong likelihood that they're going to forget it. But if we continue to repeat the same message over and over and over and over, now we begin to condition our people to do things the right way, to operate in the right manner, which will ultimately lead to you improving the deficiency, which leads me to number 4, which is you actually improve it. It does get better. It becomes a part of your organization. It becomes the new standard. It becomes the new operating system. And then after you complete those 4 steps, now we go into number 5, which is you identify the next deficiency. And then you rinse and repeat that exact same process. Because once again, if you are not breaking things, then that means you're not growing. The fact that you're growing means things should be breaking. There should be areas that we need to improve. There should be areas that we need to fix. And if you're not growing at all, the area that you need to improve is everything. And so that's its own conversation that we will do on a different video and a different podcast. But once again, let's go through this. Number 1, we track it. Number 2, we identify the deficiency. Number 3, we make adjustments to fix the deficiency, and then we relentlessly reinforce those adjustments that we just made in order to fix it. Number 4, we do fix it. And then number 5, we rinse and repeat that process with a brand new deficiency that we're trying to improve and make better. And so with that being said, hopefully you got a lot out of today's message. I know I did just by talking to you. I'm thinking to myself, man, what deficiencies do I need to aggressively go attack right now in my own business, in my own teams, in my own organizations? And if I'm thinking that right now, I know you're thinking the exact same way. So if you got something out of today's message, do me a favor, tell a friend. We obviously put out all this information free for our audience. It comes at an expense for us. And we thought about shutting down the show a couple of times, but because of your guys' feedback and you just saying that it's made a difference in your lives, we've kept it going. But if we're going to keep this show going, do me a favor, tell a friend, share this with everyone you know, and let's go continue to change the world together. With that being said, love and appreciate you. See you guys next week on the Leaders Only podcast. Let's get it.